is Steve from the NSAF, and we are here with Steve Hayden, 1959, well, I should say 1962 graduate,
62, yeah.
62 graduate of Wantagh High School, and on Coach Mike Byrnes' first team back in 1959. And of course, today we are honoring our NSAF Mike Byrnes Coach of the Year, and Steve is here to present that award today. We've gotten into the routine now since Mike passed at the beginning of last year of having a different member of his teams come in and present the award each year. How much does it mean to you to be able to come here to Greensboro and do that?
It means the world to me. As outside of my parents, I think there's no other individual that affected my life the way Coach Byrnes did. And I guess it's kind of fitting that this is Father's Day, because he was kind of like a dad to me for so many years, you know, throughout high school and into college. You know, on the summers, during the summers, I would run for the Long Island Striders Club, which
when he started
with,
okay,
back in the late '60s. And it was then that he entered me in my first 1 mile race walk in the New York State Championships, and it kind of really hooked me, and I was, I guess I gravitated towards race walking away from running as soon as I graduated from college.
Well, let's go back to the high school thing. You mentioned that he was a very young coach. You know, he must have been 20-something at that time when he
had graduated from Virginia, but then he did a 4-year stint in the Army, and where he was coaching 25. Track and football and basketball.
Right. Okay.
And so he was no inexperienced coach, but his experience with tracks.
Coaching a full track team.
I understand that when he was 18 years old, he wrote to some very famous coaches in the world. One, if I can remember, I think Percy Cerity in Australia. And it was that contact that was responsible for us running a lot of workouts in the sand dunes of Jones Beach State Park. Those were tough workouts. Oh, we love getting back together and talking about some of the workouts we did with Coach. Another one was 20 quarters. He really got into interval training. He learned a lot about that from Christoph Herna. As a Swedish coach who also was the inventor of fartlek training. And I'd like to say, you know, that on Long Island we were some of the first runners that were exposed to fartlek training in our workouts, and it really made a difference because his early career just took off.
Running well. What kind of success did you guys have individually and as a team in those 4 years?
As an individual, I won states in '61.
In the mile?
In cross country.
Okay.
And that year, that summer, after my senior year, I went back for a time trial at Wantagh, and I met Ron Gustafson.
Yeah.
Who during the time trial just wiped me out. And I was headed on scholarship to Penn State, and he was headed to a remarkable career where he won the state meet in cross country twice. He won the 2-mile title twice, and helped the team to a state victory in '62. While I was spending my freshman year at Penn State, so I kind of missed the big hype by 1 year.
Okay. Well, as successful as you were as a runner, how did he perk your interest in race walking?
Well, when he found that he saw me race walking on the track by myself after having been exposed to it at Penn State with my friend. And
well, this is after you were in college?
This was during my sophomore year, I believe, in college.
Oh, okay.
When I came back, he just thought it would be a good idea to enter me in the New York State AAU Championship meet up in Greensboro.
Oh, AAU, okay, okay.
And that was my first competitive experience with race walking.
So you had started doing it kind of on your own for fun in college, because they don't have an NCAA race walk anyway. They only do it now, at least at the NAIA level. So he entered you in an AAU event after when he saw you walking in the summer during your college career?
That's true, but I really hadn't started necessarily. He actually, once he decided he was going to enter me in the meet, then he set up a couple of workouts for me.
Okay.
So I could get smooth.
And tell us how you evolved in that event from that point.
Well, at that point, I'd say several AAU development meets later that we had during summers. We had a handicap mile racewalk, and there were some former Olympians in that race.
Wow.
Henry Lasco, I think, was one in particular. And I ended up winning it, although I had a 220-yard head start.
Okay. Photo finish right there.
So I didn't think it was quite fair for me to brag about winning that race.
Right.
But some of the people in the racewalking community thought that it had a future, so they approached me, and the next thing I know, I was a member of the Long Island Athletic Club racewalking team, coached by Howie Jacobson at that time.
Go get that track burn checked out.
And what eventually ended up being the end game for you? Did you get to the Olympic trials or Olympic level?
In '68, I went to the trials in the 20. Didn't place very high, but I was gaining experience. And by the time 72 rolled around, I was doing a lot better and qualified third place in the 50K.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and that was what led me to Munich.
Okay, wow.
Great experience in my life.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But getting back to Mike was, so instrumental in helping me make some decisions that led to where I am now. I have often wondered, where I'd be today and with whom if it hadn't been for Mike. If it hadn't been for Mike, I might not even have gone to college.
Really?
Because he had to come over to my house and talk to my mom and my dad to change their minds about asking me to take a job at the local supermarket so I could make money for college. So I guess he was showed his great salesmanship skills and talking him into letting me continue training in the hopes of getting a scholarship to run track. And that was one turn. And the other turn, having me go into race walking, was one that led to me meeting my wife, who was a race walker.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it's funny how all these things happen.
Yeah. Kind of snowball.
If you had taken different turns in certain stages of your life, where would you be? I'm very happy to have had Coach Byrnes as a coach.
Did you keep in touch with him quite a bit over the years then, beyond that?
I did up and through the time when he helped me get a position at the State University of Farmingdale, coaching actually at that time it was a junior college.
This is
cross country.
Greenwich, Connecticut.
And from that point on, we kind of went. I was involved in teaching math at Woodmere Middle School at that time as well, and we kind of fell apart. I would run into him every once in a while at relays, say hi, we might share a drink, but we were so far apart at that time that I'd have to say I wasn't really close. It wasn't until much later on when Gordon Peterson and Kevin Tumey were able to get a lot of the team together through emails that I got back into the loop.
Well, it's really great to have you here to help us honor Mike and our coach this year, who's Alton Tyre from Southeast Gullyford High School. So
I just want to say one more thing. I just thought it was really special that Mike made a big difference in my life over 50 years ago. And here we are today, honoring him. I know that this award that I'm going to be presenting has been going on for about 9 or 10 years.
Right.
But I see Mike's influence continuing perhaps for another 50 years.
Yeah.
If we can continue going. And also with the establishment of a scholarship in Mike's honor.
Gordon Peterson started that, right?
Yes, he did. He and Kevin have collaborated on that. And from here on, 2 kids coming out of the Wantagh High School cross-country and track programs are going to be benefited by scholarship to help go to school. And I can see his legacy going on for another 50 years. That'd be great.
Would, sure.
Yeah, hope so.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate your